Hello, it is Thursday on the Wednesdays, which means you're here with the Crimson Angel 100. Now, I actually had a fan art slash fan fiction slash fan theory prepared for you this week, but I'm going to save that for next week. I still have some fan art, but this is actually a suggestion from someone who made a comment who actually would have liked to see Captain Hook. So yes, you make a suggestion, I will listen. So I actually have some Captain Hook fan art, which I actually really like because I actually really like his style, and it actually almost encourages me to start a new segment, which I will do every so often, not every week, um, called Once Upon a Style, where I'll focus mainly on the clothes of certain characters, what their style is, and even comparing it from like season 1 to season 2, like pre-curse state, after curse state, how their style has changed throughout the series and how it progresses. I know it may seem silly, but you know what? I feel like the clothes in both Fairy Tale Land or the Enchanted Forest and Storybrooke are a character all on their own, along with the music as well. And I kind of feel like they deserve as much as recognition, just as much as the acting and the character development and the story itself. So here is Captain Hook, aka Killian Jones. And he's a very charismatic pirate. I have no idea where Killian Jones came from. I don't know. And even when he said that as his name, I was totally thrown off because in the original Peter Pan book, his real name is James Hook. His name was just Hook. So I wonder when he's going to go by James Hook in Neverland. Maybe they're going to reference that once he goes to Neverland and make that flashback. I would love to see flashback sequences of him in Neverland. That would be awesome. I don't think they're going to do that until they reveal who Peter Pan is, because, side note, I kind of think Neil is Peter Pan as well. Shh. I feel that, let me just show him again. I feel like he would be a really good match. I'm not saying soulmates. I'm not saying, they're going to be together forever, yada yada. I think he'll be a good match for Emma. Bear with me. Um, I the reason why I say that is because I'm taking the not Smallville, but Clark Kent Lana Lang saga as a reference. Not the Smallville version, but just as a generalization if you know the comic books. But basically that Clark Kent and Lana Lang were a couple when they were teenagers in Smallville, and it was a true love then. And he grows up, goes to Metropolis, and he falls in love with Lois, and that becomes his soulmate and his one true love. But that doesn't mean that his first love, Lana, isn't any less true, and Lana always did have a special place in his heart. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love Lois any less. And the same thing kind of goes also, I just realized, for Spider-Man and the whole Gwen Stacy Mary Jane thing. So just because we know eventually, down that road, at some point in time in the future, that Neil will in fact, probably most likely, end up with Emma. It's kind of written in the stars. It doesn't mean that Emma and Hook can't have a moment together. I'm not hating them being together. I am. I've actually have no problem of those two being together. Absolutely none whatsoever. Now, can I just say I really like his style. I think his style is really awesome. I really like any character wearing a trench coat. I think the trench coat just makes the character look very mysterious, very like badass automatically. And can I just say, in the Once Upon a Style segment, going into other male characters and style that actually I would like to wear if I could, um, a character style that I really enjoy, other than Hook, is Jefferson. Jefferson actually has some really cool style. In Storybrooke, I actually like his Storybrooke style, top hat and all. You know, his wool trench coats, his kind of Victoria era inspired clothing, all very gray, neutral tones. He doesn't really wear anything other than gray, I noticed. Um, Not even black. He just wears a lot of gray. Other than Hook, Hook wears a lot of black head to toe, no color whatsoever. Like even in his animated version wore the big bright red trench coat, and he had the big curly hair and the beard and everything. I'm glad they didn't go that route with this, even though there was promo pics of Captain Hook from behind, and he was going to have the big curly black hair. Probably because at the time they were going to have Hook, but they didn't cast him yet. They didn't know what route they were going to go. But I'm kind of glad they went with this totally different, radical design, where they went with this more like younger, late 20s, early 30s, like smoldering, charming ladies' man type of character, which is very charismatic, and he almost instantly has chemistry with any female within proximity to him, because he's like always like in that mode of like, it's just the pirate in him. It's just I, okay. I'm not crazy about his whole motive for revenge and vengeance, because one, I feel it blinds him to easily be manipulated by Regina and Cora or whoever, and he's a one-note villain. He kind of just became like the lackey to whoever, and he's not a villain all on his own. Especially since he doesn't have any magic of his own, like Regina or Cora, who's now gone, or Rumpelstiltskin. He's the only human villain, so he kind of almost teams up with them out of necessity. But I feel once they move on from the revenge and kind of give him something else to do besides that, and maybe once he figures out Neil's Peter Pan, maybe that'll shift his motivation you know, think of more theatrical, in-depth plans other than I'm going to kill Rumpelstiltskin. Other than that, I enjoy the character. I think he's a very cool, interesting character, and I would really like to see more of him. And I would really like to see flashbacks of him, like I said earlier. Now, I kind of talk about also in Once Upon a Style. Um, David, his style has changed a lot from season 1 to season 2. From, I guess you could say, pre-cursed to post-cursed. That no, when they were cursed, he had this flannel thing, and he was just roaming around. I really didn't like him in season 1, to be perfectly honest, as David. It was kind of annoying, wishy-washy, and ugh. Now he's more decisive, and now he knows what he's doing and everything, but he's kind of still just taking orders from Snow and Emma. I kind of noticed that lately. He's more decisive, but he's not really taking charge. But anyway, his style has shifted from like more fitted clothes, and he actually wears a lot of purple. Does anyone notice that he actually wears a lot of? I don't know if it's the same, if it's one shirt or a bunch of duplicates, but he wears that same purple button-down shirt a lot. Maybe it's his favorite color. I don't know. Anywho, he he he's in a category on his own sometimes, because I really enjoy this character. I think he's awesome, and I kind of put him in a temporary ship with Emma, not a permanent one, but a temporary, kind of like a motorboat. Not a yacht, not a cruise, but like a kind of like a motorboat together. They're for the moment. And him, I think also after Emma or before or whenever, I kind of think he'll be good with Regina too. That sounds kind of crazy and weird, but you know, just for the moment. I'm not saying they have to be soulmates. I'm not saying they have to be together forever. And I'll probably go into depth in that more of why I think him and Regina will be a good match. Because I just realized this is a 10-minute video already. So I'll probably get into that more next week or whenever of why I think they'll be a good match. But I'm going to close it off now and bring it back to the show and say, over the course of all the characters in both Storybrooke and in the Enchanted Forest, whose character style do you really like the most? And whose character style would you like to emulate the most? Write your comments in the comment section below. And don't be afraid to add any suggestions to any fan art you would like me to do. Don't be shy. Write any comments below. I will listen. So write your comments below what fan art you would like me to do.